Okay, this quick video clip is for a few clients out there. So if the general public is watching and says this is ridiculous, I'm going to go ahead and disable the comments because it really isn't for comments. It's just more to show a few of my clients how to break one of these guys apart without causing any issues because of that grip safety that these Performance Center, MP Shiled, Easies. Okay, today we're going to do a field strip basic disassembly of the Smith & Wesson's Performance Center, and this is the MP9 Shiled Easy Edition. First thing we're going to do is make sure it is unloaded. So we're going to remove magazine is empty, put it somewhere else, and next thing we're going to do is go ahead and lock this slide to the rear. We're going to be depressing in upward direction the slide catch and the slide release, and it's going to lock into this notch. It'll come over the top, upwards pressure, and it locks the slide. So now we're going to go ahead and check. There is no brass, no magazine. Okay, this particular model does not have a manual safety, but it does have a grip safety, which is going to be key when you're breaking this guy apart. You could foul up and even seize the slide in place, and the only way to really take the slide off in that situation is to remove this takedown lever here. So once we have the slide locked to the rear, we're going to go ahead and move the takedown lever. We're going to slide it down to a 90-degree position, so it's going to stay just like this. We need to make sure that we are not messing with, touching, pressing the grip safety here. So kind of hold it in a position where you don't have to mess with that. So now we're going to go ahead and close. Close the slide. Again, closed it without touching this here, and at this point, slowly move it forward. So it's been removed. Now, the grip safety. This particular model here. Well, these Smith & Wesson models will have this grip safety. Some people like it, some people don't. The problem with it when you're disassembling, if you're not paying attention, and all this is in the instructions manual, is if you press down on this grip safety, you'll see the tab goes up, and you could lock this slide into place accidentally, kind of seize it. It's hard to tell, but there's the tab there, by pressing that when you're trying to remove it. So you just got to be real careful. Again, I can't stress enough, don't mess with the grip safety when you're removing the slide itself. So once the slide's removed, we're going to go ahead and take the recoil spring and the guide rod out, barrel. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and assemble this, put it back together, and we are going to go ahead and seat the barrel back in place. Only goes in one direction, and you can tell it's in place because it'll snap into place. And then if you look at the back of the barrel here, you'll see where it says 9mm Luger. Okay, and it's locked into place, and it can't slide, can't move. Now, here's another I don't want to say issue with these MMPs. It's just more of knowledge than anything else. So your recoil, guide rod, and spring combination here, let me try to get a zoom on it. It's not round. If you look at some of the Glocks, Sig Sauers, it'll just be completely round. So it doesn't matter which way you place it. It's, you could just throw it in on top of the barrel and into the slide, and you're not going to have any issues. But in this case, you can see here, sorry that my camera isn't good at zooming, that there's flat edges on the side. Sorry, this is about as good as I could get it. Here we go. So there's flat edges on the side, so it's not perfectly round. You see those flat edges? So when we go to seat this in place, you need to make sure that those flat edges are going to seat right into, there's a little notch right inside, and you can see the flat edges are on the left and the right side. They're not on the top and the bottom. So your oval, your round parts are at the top and the bottom, and the flat part that we just talked about is right here on the side, both sides. Really, really important. It will not work if you do it the opposite way. Assembling this guy. So here's where you could trip up if you don't pay attention, or if you're pressing this particular function here. So again, we don't want to touch that. We want to ensure everything slides in nice and smooth. We are not forcing anything. Okay, so once you get into this position here, you're going to have a bunch of wiggle room here. So here's where you could cause some issues if you're pressing this. So just gently slide it forward. Okay, and then once you get it into this position, there's obviously still wiggle room. Be careful because it could still slide out. You're gonna lock the slide to the rear. This is the easiest way I found to do it. It's probably a million ways of doing it. This is the easiest way I found. So you're gonna press up on your slide catch. Bring it all the way, again, real important, we are not pressing on this. We're not even touching it. So lock it to the rear. Again, without touching this grip safety, it's locked to the rear. Now your takedown lever is going to move forward. And now we could go ahead, and the slide's locked into place. And we're going to go ahead and test a couple quick functions. Again, the weapon is still unloaded. First is we want to go ahead and test this grip safety and make sure that the trigger doesn't go click. So we're going to press the trigger. Make sure you're in the safe direction. For me, it's just straight down. There's nothing but concrete, and nothing happens. Okay, test one. Test number two, now we want to go ahead and press our grip safety as we were if we were normally shooting, and now we should hear a click. Once you hear that click, keep the trigger pressed down. Keep that grip safety pressed down in a good grip. Now we're going to go ahead and charge that slide. And now we're going to listen for that reset. There it is. Click. There's our reset. And on these performance models, it's really, really nice. And then finally, one last pull of the trigger. There we go. So these are just some of the basic tests. Magazine. You weren't really messing with any of the magazine or the little receiver functions, but magazine locked into place. Your magazine catch and release works just fine. And then of course we're going to close that slide, the magazine in. Okay, that's pretty much it for the MP9 Shiled EZ Edition, and this is from Smith & Wesson's Performance Center. This video isn't for the general public. I don't know how else to kind of edit it just so one person could see it, so I apologize if you click on it and you go, this is a waste of my time. This is intended for a couple of my really good clients out there that just kind of wanted to go and have a reference, a quick library to go to when they're breaking something like this apart. Thanks again. Any questions, log on to www.shopolympiaarms.com or send us an email at olympiaarms@gmail.com. Mahalo.